Random Rambling.
Hello and welcome to Rambling Ramble Podcast. This is our special episode as we're coming back. If you haven't already, why don't you give us a like, a cheeky subscribe, and drop a comment on the randomest random thing you can possibly think of.
A chihuahua! Yes, a chihuahua is what I think is random.
Okay, brilliant. Right, so today we wanted to talk about the job sector, actually. Just your common jobs, your ordinary run-of-the-mill jobs. So here we are on the line with the first person with their first job of the evening. Hello, you're right there, Mark. Yes, Mark. So we just wanted to ask, what's your job and how did you get into it?
Right, so my name is Mark. I work in accounting for the Marusha Akatukash in Markintalk, and I just account people to account them with the accountants, the accountants. Yes.
Brilliant, thank you. And have you ever had a random story at all whilst you've been working?
I mean, it's more like, sometimes when, we will have, sandwiches, sometimes, sometimes where, the sandwich was really, really, sometimes, really, 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 sometimes, and sometimes,
Sometimes
then,
when the world just opens up and you start falling down into a dark, dark pit. Is that right, Mark?
Yeah, it's a very, 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 very dark pit, sometimes, it's not always, but sometimes.
And then suddenly you just hit the bottom and you realise, yes, that is true, you realise you are in a nature reserve.
Ay caramba!
That was brilliant, thank you there, Mark. Okay, we're going to pass across now to our co-host to do the next call.
Well, hello and welcome back. We are here in the Ramble studio, ready to call our next caller from Scotland, Mr. S. McGill. Hello, Ellis. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello, Ellis. What's your job? And tell us about your job.
My job is not one for the faint-hearted. I work in a lollipop factory.
Oh my god.
You see, we built lollipops for a living. It was a dark day. I looked across to my friend as we came to the top of the horizon. He stared back into my eyes. We drawed lollipops and touched together. We looked into the distance and rose an army of hot dog weenies. We knew this would be the last time we ever stepped forward on that field. As the grass tickled our bottoms, we stepped forward with every step we could. The weenies let out a mighty scream. This is for the hot dog kingdom! We looked at each other and we said, "For Camelot!" We charged, the clouds opened, the mighty heavens roared. Even God himself shook in his pivoting cloud. Not one man was blessed that day with the art of battle. The hot dogs charged. Weenies, we're gonna have to get them. And that's when it happened. It all just went black.
Oh.
And then I woke up.
Wow.
In a river of chocolate dreams. That's right, a river of chocolate dreams. I looked to the left of me. There was a small ironing board with a small man stood next to it, and he just looked up at me as I was sat in this giant chocolate river. I seemed a giant to him. I looked down and I said, "Hello, good sir." He looked back up and said, I was so confused. I'd never seen such a tiny man in my life. I put out my hand and he climbed on. It tickled as he climbed on my giant sausage finger. I put him up to my ear and he whispered, "Can you take me to the Gumdrop Mountain?" I said yes. I put him onto my back and I spread my ginormous arms. They turned into a massive pair of wings as we flapped and soared through the sky. The mountains rolling, the audacity of the moles as they stared at us as we flew past. We truly was in Magic Garden now. This was the day I decided I'm a flying man. That's right, I'm a flying man who works in a lollipop factory just down the lane.
Wow. Now that is some interesting material that we're hearing from our friend in Scotland, Mr. Ez, right here on our show, Random Ramblings, where we found out that listening to the song Lollipop, Lollipop is a dangerous game, as it can make you levitate. Levitate.
If there's one bit of advice I've got for the kids, put down the sugar. Put down the lollipop. Come together in arms and fight against the hot dog weenies. Together we shall take back this kingdom. The sugar kingdom is ours. It belongs to us. All the hot dogs weenies, they won't know what's coming to them. I'm the hot dog king. And you see here, there's not one man that won't take my kingdom from me. And all these big, bold lollipop pushers won't push me out of my line. Let's go, hot dog weenies, let's go! Hot dog weenies, get yourself a hot dog weenie down at the hot dog bar. Open 24/7, 9 hours a week, and same terms and condition APR with APR of 1% and 5 pounds. Thank you for listening. Thank you guys. What we're going to do now is we've got a special guest on this week, actually, here at Power Random Podcast once a week. Yes, that's right, once a week. We're going to be hearing from a special guest. Glad this week we've got a musician, an absolute brilliant singer, a absolute commodity to have on the show. Everyone, let's put your hands together. Thank you very much. Thank you in the studio. What we're going to do is we're going to pass you across to Celine Survaniel Savan.
Hello,
Oh yeah, so the question we've got from some of the viewers here tonight is how did you get into the music industry?
Well, first and foremost, rock and roll! Yeah, man, that's like what we used to do back in the freaking bathrooms behind that Kia, man! You know, getting those shredded guitars ready from playing with these long hair bands, man! But, yeah, so, basically, you know, we started, you know, from talking to these giant monkeys in the Sahara Desert, where, you know, one of them was Radio Capital, and, you know, he used to, you know, eating his bananas, you know, he would be asking himself about, you know, where is the BBC? And because of that, we discovered that then there was a multi-universe universe from the legitimate monkey named from Kazakhstan. But the thing is, he did say that rockets were better than music. And for some reason, you know, we have to understand this. See, I changed my language. Did you see that? I have to do that. Because when you're rock and roll, you know, it's hair metal, you know, but, you know, it's the music industry can be a bit hard, and, you know, because of that, you know, the monkey made me quite big, and because of that, I go, hey man, oh gee.
Oh,
And with that,
brilliant. Thank you. Okay. This week on Rambling podcast, we're going back to the story time. Everyone loved it. Everyone posted in how much they loved our story time. So here we've got two buccaneers of the story world, Frank and Pete. Would you like to just introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Frank.
Hi. Yeah. My my name's Pete. They call me Slim P for short. Yeah.
Yeah, Pete's really cool.
Well, this is we wanted to share the story of the time we took a school trip to hell. It was an average morning. Came out, got on the yellow bus, and rolled down the river. As they say.
Yeah, man. That's what we say.
So we was driving in the school bus, the bus where you go to school, and we didn't go down the normal school road, the road to school.
The road, not the road that you think of. It's,
Yeah, man. So we took a turn. Yeah, the other one. We took a turn, and suddenly the hill started getting steeper and steeper and steeper, and suddenly we was falling.
Like we were like steeping down, like falling like steeply, like down.
And that's when we hit the bottom. We passed out. We woke up. We looked around, and suddenly balls of fire pit was just and people on. Almost like a hog roast of a person being spun on a fire pit, and then I looked across it, and I saw this black demon thing, and it stared right at me into my soul, and I said, "Whoa, man, I don't know if I like it here." But then I turned and I saw Bob. Now me and Bob went back into accountants. He was one of our high school friends, wasn't he, man?
Yeah, man, Mark is a really cool guy, Me and Mark went back way long time, when we used to be brothers from different mothers and homes and, all damn things, man. And yeah, that was some dark shit right there, man. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah, man, and that's when we looked. We looked over to the side and we saw Sue. And I said, "Hey, Sue, what you doing here?" And she said, "Well, I died 5 weeks ago." And I said, "Oh, I didn't know." And she went, "Yeah, I was sitting on my patio, and the next thing, I was underneath my patio. I don't know how I got there or what." I said, "That's what we said. What you doing?" And they said, "Well, we're rock and rollers. We didn't, get the golden ticket up above, so." This is what we do. This is our work now. So, what do you do? And Bob just turned around to me and he just said that his normal work is, well...
I was telling him about the normal work, but, the reality, what he used to say back in the industry, he's quite interested about things, Mark and I, going back for a long time, we used to have this saying that was, when you throw a rock into another rock, it creates a rock frequency that is a rock-tacular kind of feeling.
And that is where rock and roll comes from. That was the original. That's what everyone back in the day was saying. They threw a rock at a rock, it rolled, you get the rock and roll. And Bob was there and he said, it was like, yeah, it's the average day. You wake up in a burning pit. You kind of walk across, you see, "Oh, hey, Satan, how you doing, man?" "Oh, well, you better get to work, my son." And the first few days it was hard, don't get me wrong, but once you sat in the cafeteria eating a pile of pig guts, there isn't much way out, and life doesn't get better than that, I suppose, We've got the country club. We can always go down and shoot some eyeballs off a piece of pig knuckle with a baseball bat, it's just basically golf. Things don't get much better down here than that.
This is why, like, I'm really happy about moving, into this new, accommodation here, underneath earth where it's really, really warm, where, like, if you touch the walls, you want to cry, and you might take your eyeball out, and you might lob it.
I think that is the unique selling point. It's warm down here. You're literally eternally burning. It's not like a vacation to the sunny, window of the afterlife. No, this is the real deal. This is the ticket. You don't get much more than this. Life.
This is why
comes
people
to
stop
it.
going to pizza.
Exactly. My original name was Salty Pete. They called me Salty Pete. I used to be a pirate. I used to sail the 7 chocolate seas, and Salty Pete, they told me that I came off, and suddenly I was no longer Salty Pete anymore. You see a lot of things in your time, but one of these things is just it's just how it is sometimes, and when you're down here sat in hell, well, with your chums playing a few poker chips, it doesn't get much better than that.
No, it was really, really the whole point of it, where, when they gave me that offer, the first day, they said to me, they were like, dude, this is where, all of our rock friends, we are, and you don't feel scared, because the lollipop people are gonna come, and they're gonna help you.
That's the thing. Back in the day, the lollipop people and the weenie heads, they didn't get along. Everyone knew that. Everyone knew. The hot dog weenies did not get on with the lollipop kids. It was just how it was. It was just how it was.
Just didn't work, man. Like, it was like Tupac and, Biggie, going at it, like back in Cincinnati, when, things were rough, man, and, same thing here with these hot dogs, man, like, Mike is there, like, watching them and, like, keeping an eye on them, and, there's nobody else can do anything about it, and these lollipop people are crazy, man. They're, like, sticking to one,
That's the thing. That's the thing. When you're down here in the molten lava of hell, and there's lollipop people running riot, you just think, give me a break. I'm just trying to shovel my coal here. I just want to keep the eternal fire burning. But that's not what goes down sometimes. These weenie heads, they really put a spanner in the old cogs. That's where it was. It's not. We're not trying to be this, that, gangster or anything. That's just the way it is, man. That's life. That's life.
That's why, when the first day I came in here, I was scared. But, now I can happily say that this is the place that would really, want my children to hopefully come up and lick the lollipop off of them and learn to combine the lollipop people with the other people and not make them argue, but make them sweet together into the lava of our universe.
Well, thank you for that. That was beautiful. What a story this week, hey? Who would have thought that actually a road trip to hell with 2 rock and rollers would have turned out like that? Often these weenies have really got a bit above their boots. Well, now what we actually wanted to do, just to finish off, was we actually wanted to give the Weenie King a time to speak. A public notice to his people. The only thing that could save this now was if he said, call off the battle. Over to you, Weenie King. behalf of the weenie people, we stand here today, united, and we will not fall. The hot dog weenie kingdom has been under attack by the lollipop kids for many, many centuries. We are calling a peace to arms. Put down your lollipops. Put down your sugary covered treats. This is not time for war, but time for love. And if you do not put down your weapons, we have a whole farm of gumdrop bottoms and we'll drop them all on your asses, so you better stay away from our kingdom. You got it, bitch? Well, actually, sorry guys, that's not quite how we thought the announcement would go. We do apologise again for the language as well. There's not something we like on our podcast, actually. Hate speech is one of our biggest rules. Suggestion going forward, the lollipop kids, I'd watch out. Put down your weapons. That is not right for you to be doing that all the time. Do you understand? This is your dad speaking here, and it's gone too far. Yous better all put down your little sugar-dumping, sherbet-dip lollies, because I ain't can't have this no more. You'll understand me. Well, brilliant, thank you. Well, that's all this week, guys. I hope you liked it. I'm going to pass it over to our co-host to wrap us up with a cheeky little song. This week's rendition: loving, swimming in the chocolate river of rain, and drinking the rhythm of love. Over to you. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll be back next week. The river of love.
And cheese.
The river of love.
And more cheese.
The river of love. The chocolate love. The river of love. The river and love and more cheese.
Thank you very, very much. As you guys have heard from one of our main hosts of tonight, we've got to the end of our evenings, but you know what? This does not mean that it's not your end of the day, and not your end of the time to not be doing anything when you can be doing nothing. And guess what you can be doing today? You can be jamming with me tonight. Even when you go to bed, I will still be listening to you, and I will be still watching you, and I'll be still playing music in your head by the time that we interrupt this program to tell you this important and hallucinating news. The radio has been speaking persuasive to all of you.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there to our connection, but I might need to take us back to the host because I don't know what is happening to our co-host. Sorry, by the way, Lieutenant.
Alright guys, I think that's all we've got. I'm not really sure what's going on this week with the Rambling Ramble. We've had some real random rambles and a real rambly ramble. Oh my day. Okay, this just in, guys. The lollipop kids and the weenies have actually come to the station now. Outside it's a war zone. Chocolate grummies are going everywhere. There's platoons. The hot dog weenie kids have got giant bazookas firing out sherbet dib dabs on the road. Oh, there's melted jelly beans. There's children, melted jelly bean children everywhere. Oh, this is the hot dog king. We said we would not put down our arms if the lollipop kids kept on popping. Well, this is it. The kingdom is ours.